Welcome, Sens Talk.
Here comes Smith with a pass across. He scores! He bats it in! Tim Stutzler wins it for Ottawa. Triple Grant is going to put the finishing touches on an Ottawa win. See you later. Go Sens, go!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon Plant, and I am your host tonight. The Ottawa Senators took on the Pittsburgh Penguins as they look to make it 3 in a row in a very, very tough back-to-back situation going into this game. Ottawa is with less than 24 hours of rest. They played last night against Columbus here in Ottawa and took them down. Big win last night, as we all know. I recapped it here. I'm sure you all watched that video. If not, make sure to check it out. I think you might like the vibes a little bit more on that one. But, you know, in a tough back-to-back, because less than 24 hours later, they would be playing today in Pittsburgh for a 5 o'clock start. So less than 24 hours after a big win, they're right back at it, and more so, traveling far to get back at it. So, again, the NHL scheduler, I don't know what you're doing. Columbus, we played them 3 times in the last 11. Pittsburgh on a back-to-back at 5 o'clock on a Sunday. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. Very, very interesting to say the least. It seems like Ottawa always gets these wacky times, though. But at the end of the day, you're dealt the hand you're given, and you got to win, no matter what the schedule says. So going into this game, Ottawa has won 6 in a row, looking to make it 7 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're also looking to make it 3 wins in a row right now. They've won back-to-back games. Now, also before this game, a quick playoff update before we talk about the wild card and the Keefs Smoke Meats post-game notes. Going into this game, the Ottawa Senators still had a very comfortable lead by 6+ points against teams like the Rangers and Habs who were chasing us. And then teams like the Islanders and whatnot are kind of dropping off right now. Columbus is still there. But again, a win today against Pittsburgh, or at least a point, would help the Ottawa Senators further widen that gap between us and the teams vying for that final wildcard spot. Now, Anton Forsberg starts for the Ottawa Senators tonight. He's won the last 4 of 6 games that he has started in. Tristan Jarry starts for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has a 3-2-2 record against Ottawa all-time in his career, with a .922 save percentage and a 2.43 goals against average. Of course, one of the worst goaltenders in the National Hockey League this year. A goaltender who has struggled mightily this year, who has even played in the AHL this year. Obviously has dynamite numbers against your Ottawa Senators. Hopefully that does not continue tonight, though, against us. But let's just say that might have been the case. Now, Ottawa's lineup would remain the same as last night in that win against Columbus. Angus Crookshank was recalled prior to today's game. Clearly, it was just as an emergency insurance kind of situation there, purely because Travis Green before the game said that the Sens have some guys banged up. And it would be a game-time decision on a couple of guys. We also saw Dennis Gilbert, skate there in warm-up, but him and Crookshank were not in the rotation. They didn't take any line rushes. So, not shocking they didn't play, but again, it's notable that clearly there are some guys dealing with some injuries right now at the forward and defensive core, and hopefully we lock up that position soon, that playoff position, because if we do that, we can rest some guys and give them some crucial time off before what hopefully is a very, very exciting playoff run for your Ottawa Senators. Yet again, I have to say, we're not there yet. Until that X is next to our name in the standings, I'm not going to say we're making the playoffs. Still got to lock it in there. Still a lot of hockey left here, about 9 games left after this one. So you never know how it can go. But again, the sooner, the better, obviously. So before we get into the rest of the recap, I just want to say thank you to Dylan Puckniak and Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment for sponsoring Sens Talk, as Sens Talk is proudly presented by Dylan Puckniak, Ottawa's exclusive realtor with Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment. Providing a bilingual real estate service that serves the Ottawa-Gatineau community, Dylan Puckniak is also specialized in supporting professional athletes that come and go in our city, providing service that takes care of people at the highest level. For a realtor experience that puts you and your needs first, visit dylanpuckniak.kw.com. That is dylanpuckniak.kw.com. Look at your screen right here. You'll see it there. To find out more today, that is dylanpuckniak.kw.com. Again, thank you to Dylan Puckniak and Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment for sponsoring Sens Talk. So let's get to the first period of play. And after 20 minutes of play, the shots are 16-10 in favor of Ottawa, but the game is tied at 0 apiece. That first period, honestly, not much going on. Ottawa, I think, definitely played better in that period. It showed in the shots, almost led by double. Batherson, by the way, had 5 shots in that first period of play. Zetterlund had 3 shots and 3 hits as well in that first period. So Ottawa, again, in a tough, quick turnaround, back-to-back situation, it's good that they were coming out and playing a solid game, but you knew that eventually the gas was going to run out, right? And that's unfortunately what we saw in the later portions of this game. But early on, things look good for Ottawa. Go to the second period of play, and the first 10 minutes, Pittsburgh is starting to push back here. They hit the post roughly 9-10 minutes in. But other than that, not much happened there in that second period as well. I think, frankly, that was easily the most boring period the Ottawa Senators have played in some time. And I'm not, upset about it at all. We're still tied at this point. We're not losing. Still a chance to either win or maybe force overtime and get a point. Not a bad situation to be in. And while, the game was not exactly the most exciting, still at this point, the Ottawa Senators looked to be the favorites to win this game. They were still leading in shots, 26-19. They still were generating some chances. But as the second period went on, you really did see the gas really begin to, run out for the Ottawa Senators. The light was definitely on the dashboard, calling us to get to that gas station. Unfortunately, that gas station was nowhere in sight. And the Penguins would begin to push late there in the second period of play. And speaking of late in the second period of play, Brady Tkachuk luckily did return in the third, but he got hit. It was an interference call on Ryan Graves there late in the second period of play. Ottawa would start the third on the power play. Tkachuk, the Sens captain, would skate off, wincing in pain, hunched over. That one looked bad. Luckily, though, he would return and did not miss any time. But again, we all know Tkachuk is dealing with an existing injury already. So anything that can either, flame that up even more or more so worsen it, it's just not something we want to see, right? So good to see he's doing okay. But again, a scary moment, no doubt about it. Now, at this point in the game, I would just want to mention Zetterlund. I don't know how this guy hasn't scored yet for the Ottawa Senators. Another good game for him. Another 2 shots in that second period for 5 total. He looked great in that game. He had 2 good opportunities there in the second period as well. He's getting the looks. And again, if you're getting the looks, eventually the goals are going to go in, right? It's not like he's just floating there and not doing anything. Again, 3 hits in that first period, 5 shots already through 40 minutes of play. He's producing. He's playing hard. He's trying to generate offensive chances, and he is. He's trying to generate offense, I should say. Unfortunately, that's just not going his way right now. But again, it's going to come. If you're getting the chances, eventually those goals will drop. But let's get to the third period of play here. And, again, this is where Pittsburgh really begins to take over, I'll be honest with you. So go to the third period. Ottawa, in their last 6 games, outscored 11-4 in the third period of play. So Ottawa has found a way in those games to hold on and get the 2 points. This is a different situation, though, as Ottawa is tied going into this period. They're not leading, they're tied. They need to win it themselves. They're not already leading, they have to win it. And the way they're playing right now, that, again, the gas light is flickering on the dashboard. We're running on fumes at this point in the game, and that's very, very evident throughout the entirety of that third period of play where the Penguins absolutely dominated. But the Ottawa Senators did a good job. Again, the Penguins did get some good looks, and Forsberg was forced to make some big stops. No doubt about that. Forsberg is the only reason why Ottawa was still in this game, especially here in the third period of play. First period, Ottawa was better. Second period, mixed bag. Still relatively Ottawa, but again, much more even. Third period, all Pittsburgh. No doubt about that. And Anton Forsberg was a big reason why Ottawa kept this still tied at 0 for, frankly, the entirety of regulation. We'll talk about that in a second. But my point with that is, again, a lot of the shots were from the perimeter, though. Forsberg, again, he did have to make some big stops, but a lot of shots were from the perimeter. So, and we'll talk about this in the Keep Smoke Meats post-game notes as well. A lot of block shots as well for Ottawa. So they were doing a good job at boxing Pittsburgh out, pushing them to the outside, not giving them good looks. But when they did get good looks, Forsberg was up to the task, making the big stops. And he was fantastic tonight. And again, it's in an effort where we probably didn't get the result we wanted. Actually, I should say for a fact, we didn't get the result we wanted, obviously. But he was fantastic. But we'll save that for a couple minutes from now, because a couple of things happened here in the final couple of minutes where, it was quite funny. Artem Zub and Sidney Crosby get into it in the last 3 minutes, and Crosby just starts punching Zub in the face. Now, look, I saw a lot of people wondering why Zub got the penalty here. Love Zub. This really got some energy into the game, by the way. Literally, probably the most exciting point of the game for the Ottawa Senators. And at this point as well for Pittsburgh, was this fight behind the net between Crosby and Zub. And people were saying, well, Zub shouldn't get the penalty. Crosby's the one that punched him in the face. Yeah, well, also 5 seconds before, Zub slashed him. He knew what he was doing. He wanted to take Crosby off the ice in the final 3 minutes. Fine by me. You know, at the end of the day, a power play for Ottawa would have been the cherry on top there. But taking Crosby off the ice, as we'll see later on in this recap in the next couple of minutes here, it's very optimal, especially late in the game when things are getting a little hectic, systems collapse, and the Penguins begin to push because they have the gas. Again, remember, they didn't play yesterday. We did, and they certainly looked like the team that had fresher legs. But speaking of that, again, Ottawa got woken up by it. Same with Pittsburgh. Ottawa would have 2 breakaways in the final 5 minutes, including overtime. Pinto with a breakaway in the final 2 minutes. He hits the post. Too bad, because that would have been so electric. That was literally seconds after the faceoff, after the Zub and Crosby incident. So that would have been just insane. And the Pittsburgh fans would have lost their minds for sure. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. But really, Greg takes a penalty here in the final 10 seconds. And Pittsburgh would start overtime on the power play. And look, Ottawa by no means deserved to win this game. Like, they did not deserve to win this game. Forsberg is the only reason why we even were going to overtime. But that being said, we were here. We had an opportunity to win, and seeing a call like this late in the game with not many penalties in a tie scenario, it's a weak call at best. I mean, if there's penalties flying all over in the game, I get it. Especially if it's midway through the game, fine, whatever, you can debate it. But at this point of the game, with what's on the line, I don't know. It's a bit of a iffy call, to be honest with you. So anyways, again, you're dealt the hand you're given. So at the end of the day, we can whine all we want about the penalty, and deservingly so, to be honest. At the end of the day, you still got to kill the penalty. And well, we go to overtime, and Ottawa actually has a very, very good record in overtime. 8-3 in overtime, 10-4 in total, including the shootouts, according to Gordon Miller of TSN. And as I mentioned before, a couple minutes in, Ottawa shorthanded, breakaway, Jake Sanderson. He hits the post. Oh my goodness. Ottawa today hit like 3 or 4 posts. Minute or so later, the Penguins set it up in our zone. Crosby's fed the one-timer, and he beats Anton Forsberg. And the Penguins win this one 1-0 in overtime. Ottawa gets a massive point, and they get 3 out of 4 on the back-to-back. No complaints, can't be upset. It's just disappointing considering the effort that Anton Forsberg gave us. As the shots were 35-31 in favor of Pittsburgh to end the game, and 14-4 in the third period of play. Again, in that third period, Forsberg was key to getting this to overtime and giving Ottawa a massive point, to give them at least a bit more of a buffer on those teams chasing them right now. Now, before we get to the rest of the Keefe Smoke Meats post-game notes, I just want to say thank you to Keefe Smoke Meats for sponsoring Sens Talk. And Sens Talk is brought to you by Keefe Smoke Meats, the best smoked meat in the Ottawa area. During a process that takes over 150 hours while using the highest grade beef, Keefe Smoke Meats smokes their meat on top of a mix of Southern American charcoal and Keefe signature flavored wood chips, leaving you with a savory Montreal-inspired smoked meat. The best part about it all, getting it is so easy. Just go to keefsmokemeats.com. That is keefsmokemeats.com. Find the smoked meat package you're looking for. Click order, and boom, within days, you will have freshly made, locally produced smoked meat delivered right to your doorstep. So go to keefsmokemeats.com. That is keefsmokemeats.com for the best tasting smoked meat experience in Ottawa today. Now let's get to the Keefe Smoke Meats post-game thoughts. So, going into this game and in this game, the last 12 games, the triple D line or the 3D line, those are the 2 nicknames we got. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below between those 2 for the Perron, Cousins, and Batherson line. Have been fantastic. 13 goals, 27 points in the last 12 games. Unfortunately, they couldn't break the ice tonight for Ottawa, but TSN put that stat up, and I have a graphic going out tomorrow about the line as well. So figured I might as well give them a bit of a shout out and also create that conversation. What do you think that nickname should be? Now, as I alluded to earlier in this video, Ottawa had a lot of blocks today. 21 blocks in total. Unbelievable. They still had 35 shots go through. 21 were blocked. Shabbat, by the way, led the way with 5. He played just under 25 minutes as well, by the way, had 4 hits. Shabbat gets a lot of heat, but he played nearly half the game, blocked nearly, 2 shots per period, had a hit basically per period. I mean, he had a strong game. He gave it his all, and that's all you really can ask for. Now, to end this kind of on a positive note here, Ottawa is now 7-0-1 on weekend back-to-backs. So can't complain there. And Ottawa, since January 1st, thanks to Graham Nichols for this stat, is 10-3-1 in back-to-back games, capturing 21 of 28 points. If the Ottawa Senators make the playoffs, and it's looking pretty good, again, can't say for sure until we have that X next to our name in the standings. But if we do make the playoffs, that right there will be a massive reason as to why 21 of 28 points in back-to-back scenarios since New Year's Day is fantastic. There's no way of saying otherwise. To finish it really off here on a positive note, Ottawa still has multiple games up on the Habs and the Rangers for that first wildcard spot. We're up 7+ with games in hand and the tie break. So still very much in the driver's seat to make the playoffs. It's still very much in our control. It's only up to us. If we want to miss it, it's up to us. And I don't think the Ottawa Senators plan on doing that. But again, tough loss, no doubt about it. Forsberg, give him a round of applause. He was fantastic today. 34 for 35, of course. Great game for him. And was the only reason why Ottawa got a point today to make it 3 out of 4 on the weekend. Again, when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, 3 out of 4, cannot complain about it whatsoever, especially when the teams below us are starting to pick it up, like the Habs, for example, and the Rangers. So that was great to see. Now, last thing I will mention here, and we'll probably do a video on this very soon, is the Sens had a bit of a leak today as some rumored third jerseys were circulating around social media today. If you look at your screen right here, these are the leaks that are allegedly the Sens' potential third jersey. Now, I will say this was something that was posted on Reddit in November 2024, and according to that post in November 2024, if you look at your screen right here, you'll see all the details. This was also from a photo shoot of a Fanatics demo photo shoot in November of 2024. So is this for sure going to be the design? I don't know. Is this one of many mock-ups that are, being floated around? I don't know. Is this an intentional leak to kind of gauge the reaction by the fan base? Maybe. That's the one where I actually think there's a possibility, because again, why else did this, just suddenly get brought up once again nearly a year later? But again, I don't hate it. I like bringing the red back. I like some gold. I don't really like the shoulders. I would have liked to see the O come back to embrace the heritage, but at the end of the day, I always like something that's unique, and I also don't think that's the final product. Again, this is nearly a year-old picture. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below about that. Now, with that, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below about today's tough loss. And with that, I will see you on Tuesday when Ottawa takes on the Buffalo Sabres, looking to avoid a season sweep against the Sabres. Hopefully, Josh Norris plays that game. It'll be awesome to give him a round of applause in his return to Ottawa. Now, with that, I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.